Hey, I want to give you a quick tutorial here about, oh, look, there's me down in the corner. That's me in the corner. So I'm going to give you a little tutorial about this projectile ball, this little lab that you're going to do. It's pretty cool. I think don't need to have that folder open. So let's see. How do I get that to be? Sorry, just fussing around. There we go. That's what I want it to look like. So here's the projectile ball. Let me get rid of this stuff so you can see what it's going to look like when you first open it up. It's going to look like this. And as with any of these, of course, the first thing you should do is go ahead and just so there's some young woman throwing, looks like a kickball ball. And there's some cones there for safety or something. I'm not sure there. I guess that's the target where she's throwing to. And it's kind of cool. Actually, it's not kind of cool. It's really cool because it's three different views of the exact same. This isn't like three takes. This is the same throw of the ball. So this is kind of the view you might expect to see. There's projectile. It's a little arcing path through the air. But then over here, you have the same exact throw. Let's focus on this one over here, the so-called front view. So you're just seeing the ball head on. So you can't see its horizontal motion. You can only really see the vertical motion there. And then here, this is filmed from a drone up above. And let's focus on this one here. You can only see the horizontal motion of the ball. Now, what you need to do is collect horizontal and vertical position versus time data, and then you're going to make velocity data out of that using that same like slope of the 2 points on either side method, same as what you did for the last lab. So I'm going to give you just a quick tutorial about things. You might be able to figure all that out. I bet you could figure that all out on your own. So here, there are two measuring tools. There's one for up and down, and there's one for side to side. So you use the one that you need. Now, you can get both the horizontal and the vertical position data from this video, or you can get the vertical stuff from this one and the horizontal stuff from this one. But it's all the same ball, so it doesn't matter. Like this one shot of the side view, that would be sufficient. You could do the whole thing just with that video, but it's very cool to have these other views also. So it's up to you. You know how to reset things. Let's just go ahead and go back to the start of the video and start doing frame by frame. You do not want any data while the ball is still in her hands. You want data while the ball is in the air. So between when it's in her hands, is that in her hands? Hard to tell. So I'm going to err on the side of that is definitely out of her hands right there. So, oh, I think that is too. Actually, that's pretty clear from this one that that's out. Okay, so I'm going to line up if I wanted to collect my horizontal position versus time. Line that up right there. So mine's lined up with the front of the ball. And then I'm going to get a timer, and I'm going to zero it here. And then I'm going to start collecting data. And then I'm going to make sure that I'm using the same frame. You could use the top of the ball lined up here to collect your data, and then go ahead and do. You don't have to do every single frame. You could. That would be a lot of data. You could do like every 3 frames. 1, 2, 3. That would bring you back. I think if you did every 3 frames, let's see, that would be, so there's your first data point, and then you have 1, 2, 3. That's every 20th of a second, and then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I think that's a pretty good interval, but I'll leave that up to you, what you want to do. And then, you know, you do your best to read to the nearest. If these are meters here, then these are 10 centimeters to the nearest centimeter. You do your best to estimate that. And then you're going to have some data. You're going to have two different sets of data. You're going to have horizontal position time and vertical position time for the same ball. Now, once you get that data, you're going to want to put it into Logger Pro or Graphical Analysis 4 so you can do your data analysis. I'm going to show you a little trick here. I went ahead and put some data in Excel. This is just some numbers that I made up. Time 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then positions getting increasingly bigger. I wanted to show you this in Excel, and I think you can do this in Google Sheets too. I would imagine that it works exactly the same way, because you're going to have, a considerable number of data points, and you're going to want to go ahead and make velocity data by doing those little slope calculations. So I want to show you a shortcut, and also if you don't know about the versatility and the sort of intelligence of Excel and Google Sheets, you should know about this. It's super handy in lots of situations. So what I would like is for Excel, like right here in this for this velocity data, I would like to do the slope calculation of this position minus this one over this minus this. That's what I would like to show up here. Now I could do that by hand, right, and just type it in. But wouldn't it be nice if we could just get it to do that without us having to do every one? And we can do that. I'll show you how. So up here in the this little bar, I'm going to type equals to let Excel know that I'm going to type in some kind of formula. And then I'm going to type in that, parentheses, I'm going to type in, I would like to do this cell, which is cell B4 right here. I just clicked on that cell and it auto-populated that, minus this one, B2, close parentheses, over, open parentheses, A4 minus, I'm just typing in the minus there, A2, close parentheses. So that looks like a slope calculation, doesn't it? And it has these nicely color-coded with the little descriptors of that. So that's what I want to be in that cell. I'm going to hit enter. And there it is. I'm just going to manually check and make sure that that did it right. 4 minus 1 is 3 over 3 minus 1 is 2. So 3 over 2, that is the right slope there. And now here's the really cool thing. You don't have to type in here and do that again. I'm going to highlight this cell, and then I'm going to grab the little square here at the bottom corner of this, and I'm going to drag it down. I'm not going to drag down to here because for this point 511, I don't have a point on the other side, so it's not going to know what to do with that. But I can drag down to here, and then I'm going to let go of the mouse, and look at that. And if I click on this cell now, it figured out what I want. It figured out that I want to use the cells adjacent to these to this row. And I can click on this one. You can see it did 6s and 4s. So that's pretty cool, right? So you could have a whole bunch of data. You could type that in one time and then do that click and drag down, and then you got all your velocity data. So what are you going to do that? I mean, that's great, but this is in Excel. It's not in Logger Pro or Graphical Analysis 4. Well, all you have to do then is, I think you do have to do this one column at a time, unfortunately, but it's not going to take you that much work. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Oops, I'm not going to do that. Undo. I'm going to, there we go. I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to, copy that. And then I'm going to go to, let's see, where's my Logger Pro? If you want to use Graphical Analysis 4, it works exactly the same as this. Then I'm going to click just on that very top cell, and then I'm going to click Paste. And it'll do that. You don't have to highlight that. You just have to click on the first cell, and it figures it out. And then I can go get my second column and copy that and put that here. And then of course I would have to name these. This would be my time and short name and units would be seconds and so on. Again, I just made these numbers up just to show you how to do this. And done. And that's all great. And if you want to have, you don't need to make separate graphs for all these. Your times are going to be the same for everything. So once you get here, you're thinking to yourself, oh, I sure would like to have another. This one is like, let's say this is my vertical position and short name. Oh, Y, that's a pretty good name for vertical position, isn't it? And let's say that's in meters. So I've got that there, and I'm like, I'd really like to have another column here. Actually, you're going to want to have 3 more columns. So how do I do that? You go to data, and we want a new manual column. And then you put in your information, like let's say I want this to be horizontal position, and that's going to be, I guess, horizontal position we should call X. And then the units would be meters, and there it is. And then when you want your different graphs, you can go ahead. This is always going to be time here. And this is going to be, look, now I have a choice. So I can do this graph. I can put a nice title on it. I can do a screen snip. And then I can, when I want to switch, I can go to horizontal position. Of course, there's nothing there because I don't have any data in there yet. So you can have all 4 of them here and just alternate between those graphs, right? You might have to rescale them and whatnot, auto scale from 0, so it spreads it out real nice. Put a title on there, blah, blah, whatever your title is, and so on. So your lab report for this should have a total of 4 graphs. 1, 2, 3, 4. That would be horizontal position versus time, vertical position versus time, horizontal velocity versus time, and vertical velocity versus time. Those are your 4 graphs. And I think you know what to do with the analysis. The only confusion, and I think this got cleared up in comments on lab reports, I hope, is that if you have a graph that's a curve, you don't have to say what the meaning of the slope is because there isn't a particular number. You can say the slope is changing in a certain way, which means the velocity is increasing or decreasing or whatever. But you don't have to do that meaning of slope if your graph is a curve, because presumably if it is a curve, you're going to try to work the data out to get it eventually to have some kind of representation as a straight line, whether we're talking about velocity, whatever. So you will be able to talk about that at some point. And of course, you can zap me with questions anytime about what to do. This is a group lab report. So in Google Classroom, you will find your new lab groups. Lab groups will be reassigned at the beginning of every unit, or when we have a new lab in each new unit. I think that's all I need to tell you, but if you have any questions, again, I'm here for you. Have a wonderful day. See you later.